Good day, good people. Welcome back to Collector's Quest, and thank you so much for joining me on another gaming adventure. And today it's just gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm done for work, I'm done for the weekend, got half a day to use up, so yeah man, your boy is definitely happy. Weekend started early for me, and the immediate plan is to go to IKEA to fill that gap. If you didn't see the previous video, we made some big changes to the billy bookcases. We got some brand new shelves, some brand new Kallax unit drawers, and we made some big changes, but I made a big mistake. I forgot to get a half a billy bookcase shelf, so there's a weird gap up there, so gonna get that. Then a couple of you guys made some good suggestions on how I can move things around to make better use of that space up there, so we'll do all that. Then I'm also in the process of building up a sweet voucher. I've always got things to sell in the loft, and I've got a couple of bits and bobs that I don't really need in the collection anymore, so gonna head to CEX. I'm just not too sure which one I want to go to because it's getting near the time where Wednesbury gets quite busy, so I don't want to be stuck in traffic or stuck on the motorway, so I might end up going to Maryhill possibly, which might not be a good idea on a Friday evening, but definitely worth thing to do. So gonna get the bag ready, get the car loaded, and get the show on the road. IKEA first, let's do this. Man, we're back. One absolute ordeal. Took me 30 minutes to do 3 miles. For reference, I can run a 5k in about 25-26 minutes. 5k being about 3.2 miles, so it would have been quicker for me to leave my car at Maryhill and run back, but we're back. Also absolutely pouring it down. It's that rain as well, that's wet. I know that sounds silly to say, but you know that rain that's really thick and it just soaks you right through. Cold. But we're back. We've got the 2 new shelves for the billy bookcase. I ended up getting 2 just in case I need another one, but I think the plan is to basically move the PlayStation 2. A couple of guys recommended maybe seeing if PlayStation 3 can go underneath that shelf there. Then maybe we can move the Dreamcast games over there. Don't know if it's going to work, but might as well check it out and see what happens. And in terms of Maryhill, I got £170 on a sweet voucher. Something hit me. I almost had like an epiphany while I was going through my collection last week and moving things around. I came to the realization I don't really care for handheld devices, so DS, 3DS, even to some extent the Nintendo Switch, and there were a couple of games on the DS and 3DS I just have no interest in playing. At one point I was thinking of just clearing it all out and getting rid of both of those systems, but I think for now I'm going to keep it and just collect JRPGs on the DS and the 3DS. And to be fair, there are a couple of games in the Shin Megami Tensei series that I do want to play on the 3DS, so it makes sense to keep it for now. But quite a lot of heavy hitters on the DS just sat there gathering dust on the 3DS, so I figured now's the time to cash in. And you might have seen on the last video when I was going through the Switch, had a couple of games hidden away. So what I typically do, if and when it comes to getting rid of things from the collection, I'll hide it somewhere, either in the room, in the loft, and I'll typically forget about it, and then it just allows me enough time to mentally part ways with those games, and then as and when I actually find those games again in the room, I'm ready to get rid. That's how I do it, that's how I keep my collection thin, lean, all killer, no filler. But yeah man, really happy with the voucher, and we've got a couple more things to sell, and I'm working my way up to hopefully about £300 in sweet vouchers. I'm trying to get something big for the collection, a bit of a grail. There is one in stock at CEX. It's missions away. I'm thinking about doing a crazy road trip to go and get it, but that's all for a future video. But that's what I'm doing at the minute, just getting rid of bits that don't bring me joy, you know, games I'm not going to play. So Yeah man, all good. Let's get you set up on the tripod and start moving some games around. Yeah man, let's do it. Alright, as you can see, I've moved Sega Dreamcast from there to that side, and as you can see, looks real cool. I love how the colours pop, and I took PlayStation 2 from there and it's been demoted all the way to the bottom of the billy bookcase down there. Looks a bit weird going from PlayStation 1 to Sega Dreamcast, but to be fair, the PlayStation 2 spines are so boring to look at. I don't care about having the white down there. So yeah man, thank you for all these suggestions, and shout out to the guys who made those recommendations. I just think that looks so much better now, no wasted space. I've also got plenty of room to expand the Sega Dreamcast collection, which is all good. So yeah man, that is definitely positive. What I need to do now, I need to sort this side out. So I'm thinking of moving Switch, Wii, DS, 3DS, and just sorting this area out. So as you can see, just off camera there, made some big changes to these shelves. I'll go for the changes probably tomorrow now, because that took a good hour, hour and a half. It's just, I like the end result, but actually getting to that is a lot of work, man. Just moving games around is just hard, especially down there, it's quite tight. So yeah, I'm hot, I'm bothered, I just want to chill out now. But I want to go through this pile of stuff that I'm looking to get rid of probably tomorrow now, so let's go for that instead. So these are the casualties of things that I don't really need or want in the collection anymore. So back down there is just a couple of Wii's, a couple of bits from the car boot, so doesn't matter really. But a couple of bits here I've been kind of contemplating about getting rid of, but like I've always said, it's just right time really. And I think it's now time to get rid of the Starfield Constellation Edition and the Starfield controller. So I picked those up back when the game came out. I was, you know, willing to buy an Xbox Series X to play that game on, but after looking at some gameplay for about 5-10 hours and watching people stream it, I just realised it wasn't really the game for me. I didn't really need to rush out and buy a brand new console, and to be fair, those two things there have been kind of a buyer's regret because they were quite a lot of money, and I knew one day I would probably sell them because I don't really want things of that magnitude in the collection that I don't really have any sort of attachment to. So yeah, I just figured, you know what, get rid of it, make some space on the shelf for things that I do care about. And I'm not sure what the value is. I'll do some research, but you know, old school gaming, vintage gamer, they might be interested, so hopefully we can recycle that back into the collection. So yeah man, definitely a worthwhile exercise removing things around the shelf. So what I'm going to do now is get a drink because I'm absolutely roasting, man. It's so hot in here. Then I'm going to play some Illusion of Time on the Super Nintendo. I might set you guys up and take you along with what I've been doing on there recently. And then tomorrow we'll go to Dudley CX to trade in a couple of bits, a couple of games. Then we'll probably go to either old school gaming or vintage gamer, or probably both, to be fair. Why not? So plenty more hunting coming up on the video, so make sure you stay tuned. But tonight I'm going to chill, kick my feet up and play some more Illusion of Time. Good morning. As you just seen, I went to Dudley CX to trade in a couple of bits from that stack yesterday. A couple of the low hanging fruits, nothing too crazy. Got £163 on a Sweet Sweet voucher, which is happy days. The goal at the start of this weekend was to come away with over £250 worth of CX vouchers. We've done that. Adding that to the voucher we got yesterday, got about £300 worth of vouchers. So yeah man, I can now take that and pick up something very heavy hitting, something very cool for the collection. We'll get to that in a future video, but right now I'm in Briley Hill. You know what's in Briley Hill, old school gaming, got another bag load. So yeah man, plenty more game hunting on the way. Let's do it. So that was the amazing old school gaming. As you can see, I've got a bag with a very, very, very heavy hitting game, man. I can't actually believe I got this game, man. Yeah, buzzing, man, absolutely buzzing. As you can tell, it's pouring it down, so gonna get back to the car and then gonna bench the gamer, but yeah, man, I'm so happy with my purchase. Alright, as you can tell, we're back in the room. Just thought I'd go through the shelf changes before we go over the big heavy hitter that I picked up from old school gaming. As you can see, this side is still the same, so really happy with the PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, PlayStation 3. Just think that looks amazing, all the colours, really happy. And PlayStation 2 has been relegated to the bottom of the Billy bookcase. Then this side, so I've moved DS and 3DS up, Super Nintendo, Switch, GameCube, Wii. The only casualty is the Dreamcast shelf, but I think it looks pretty cool next to the Zelda shelf there. Then down there, my humble Xbox 360 collection. And then just got Fallout, that kind of stuff down there. So taking a step back, I think it looks real clean. Just love how colourful it is. So yeah man, thank you to everyone who made the suggestion to move PlayStation 3 up and Dreamcast from there to there. Really, really happy with the changes. Now, let's go into that blue bag. So, before we get into the blue bag from old school gaming, Dudley CX went really well, so I got £168 on a Sweet Sweet voucher, so really good. Got rid of some filler out of the collection. Then we went to old school gaming, the blue bag. Then from old school gaming, we went to Vintage Gamer, so I took in a couple of just bits really, just stuff in the loft, and Nick gave me like £15–20 cash. And then at the bottom of one of my bags, I had a DS in there, a DSi. Had no charger for it, so I couldn't have any way of testing it or making sure it worked. So Nick gave me a charger to make sure it worked. It does work. And what he said to me, rather than him buy it off me for about £10–15 cash, he said, take one of these chargers, sell it to CEX. If they take it, great. If not, bring it back and then we'll sort something out. So that's all good. But old school gaming, so very heavy hitting gaming here. So I took in that Starfield Consolation Edition, the Starfield controller, a bunch of other games that I wasn't really too interested in playing, and About 6 months ago, Rich had an entire Super Nintendo collection traded into his shop. Most of that is still there for the most part. He's still got well over 100 Super Nintendo games in his shop, and since then he's actually had another lot of about 100 games traded in on the Super Nintendo. So without doubt, probably the best, most stocked store within the entire country in terms of Super Nintendo and maybe Mega Drive. So if you're into the Super Nintendo or 16-bit consoles, then definitely get yourself to Old School Gaming in Bridal Hill. I was going through the Super Nintendo stuff that you had in, and he was going through my stuff, and he priced them up at £220, so I got £220 worth of credit. I saw this there and it was very expensive, but with me getting £220 worth of credit, this cost me £100 in terms of real world money. It's a game I've wanted ever since I've collected for the Super Nintendo. Been my #1 target, and for the last probably month, I've become very obsessed with this game. I've been looking at retrospectives, how the game was made, developer stories, and I was actually going to plan a massive road trip to get this from CEX. So the whole reason why I was trying to trade in things this weekend to get a Sweet voucher was to essentially buy this from CEX. So they got one of these in stock at Dover CEX, very far from me. They had it priced at £250 without manual, hence why I was trying to get around £250, £300 worth of Sweet vouchers. Rich actually had 2 of these in stock. He had one in slightly worse condition. This one was the better of the 2. And he let me have this for £300, so I had to put £100 cash. But enough build up, let's get into it. So I finally have a copy on the Super Nintendo of Terranigma. A boy's curiosity triggers events that lead to the resurrection of life on this planet. In the distant past, a calamitous struggle between light and dark took place on this planet. The clash of the 2 opposing powers scored the planet's surface entirely of life, and the 2 forces fell into a deep sleep. Ark, a mischievous teenage boy, somehow causes a crisis in the village that makes it necessary for him to leave. So I finally got a copy of Terranigma on the Super Nintendo. This has been my #1 target on the Super Nintendo, and like I said, I've become very addicted to watching deep dives, retrospectives, developer stories, just video essays, anything I can see and find about Terranigma. And ever since playing Illusion of Time, I've just been fascinated by the Quintet trilogy, and this game looks incredible, man. It's in really good condition. The box is really good, real clean. The manual is also in decent condition. The only little asterisk next to the manual is that there's some writing in the back. Someone obviously scribbled down some notes, but it doesn't bother me, and who knows, it might come in handy when I'm playing this game. Really happy with this condition, and for essentially £100 by getting rid of bits from the collection that I don't have any interest, don't have any love. That's what I'm all about, man. That's how I like to collect, and this weekend's been so good. So to get rid of some bits from the collection that I don't want, to get rid of bits that I don't need in the collection, and to essentially pick up a grail for me, that's just the way I love to collect, and just how I make it financially viable and how I kind of justify buying expensive games such as Terranigma. And the best thing about this hobby is that you can do it in a number of ways. You don't need to do it how I do it. I like to have a very curated game collection. I don't want thousands and thousands of games in the collection. I want a lean collection. I want to walk into this room and basically be surrounded by games I either loved in the past, games I've learnt to love, or games I can't wait to play. And anything that doesn't fall into any of those 3 categories doesn't really have a place in my collection. And this weekend I've got rid of crap out the loft. I got rid of games in the collection, collector's editions out of the collection that I don't really hold much love for, and to essentially turn all that into this absolute grail, man. It's what it's all about. And in Old School Gaming, when I took in the Starfield Constellation Edition and the controller, probably about 15 minutes later, someone actually came in and bought that Starfield Constellation Edition. He was like buzzing, man. He was like, oh my God, what's that? I love Starfield. And we got chatting. And that's what it's all about. We've all got different passions. We all collect differently. So yeah, man, really happy to turn what I consider junk filler in the collection, it's not junk, but you know what I mean, into an absolute grail. So yeah, I can't wait to play this. So This is going to be my Christmas game. I know when I picked up Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast, I said that was going to be my Christmas game, but I actually found out that my Dreamcast is missing the modem. Speaking to quite a few people who said that my console should have came with the modem, so I'm actually in the process of trying to get that sorted. I'm hoping they're going to do something else, maybe give me a partial refund, but if they need the console back, then I don't really want to be without a console halfway through Skies of Arcadia, so this is going to be my Christmas game, and I need to get through Illusion of Time about halfway through that, and then I'm going to be deeply immersed in Terranigma, and just, I can't wait, man. Everything I've seen of this game, everything I've heard, read, this is meant to be an amazing, almost life-changing game. I don't know if it's going to be that for me, but nonetheless, I can't wait for this. So yeah, man, absolutely buzzing. And also at Old School Gaming, I bumped into Zach, seen him a couple of times at Cole's Car Boot, so big shout out to you, mate, if you're watching. And we are in the process of sorting out some sort of like little collab, a little video about his collection, because he's got some amazing things, and some of the stock at Old School Gaming is actually from Zach's collection. He's actually in the process of fitting out his collection. He's mainly focusing on PlayStation 3, that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, always good to bump into fellow collectors. So yeah, big shout out to you, Zach. Yeah, I still can't get over this, man. When I found it there, I was like, no way, it's fate, and I now don't need to do the like 300-mile round trip to get to Dover and back. So yeah, really happy with what we picked up today, and just really happy to get the room at its best, get rid of crap from the collection, you know, things that don't bring me joy. So definitely a great weekend, and definitely a good time game hunting. So yeah, man, Terranigma, so excited. But now I want to hear from you guys. What have you been doing to your games room? Have you been getting rid of anything that you consider filler? How do you collect? And what game are you going to be playing over your Christmas break? If you're lucky enough to have a Christmas break like myself, sound off in the comments down below. And while you're down there, in the comments, if you haven't done so already, smash the like button and subscribe to the Collectibles Quest channel for more game hunts, CX adventures, and everything about video game collecting. And I just want to say a big thank you for everyone who turned up for my 10 games that define my life video. That video was more of a passion project. I didn't really expect it to get the traction that it did, and I found it so humbling and so heartwarming to hear your guys' stories about how games have shaped your life, how they've helped you through tough times. And it was really, really amazing and really, really wholesome to interact with you guys in the comments. So yeah, a big shout out to you guys that turned up for that video. Check it out above my head. And as always, good luck on your game hunts and collecting adventures. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll catch you in the next one.